I mean, everybody's at this damn resort. It's like, this is crazy that y'all are running into all these people, you know. Hello, and welcome to Tracy Mommy Reads. I am back today with another book review. Today, I am going to be reviewing The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. The Unhoneymooners. And fun fact, the name Christina Lauren, that actually alludes to two names. The author, Christina Lauren, is a duo, Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings. They write books together. They have several books out in the marketplace. This is the first book that I have read by them that has been published, and that's an original story. Let me explain. Christina and Lauren, I first came across their work as fan fiction writers. Just like E.L. James and her 50 Shades books, which were actually based on an actual Twilight fan fiction that she did, Christina and Lauren, they wrote a lot of fan fiction as well. And some of their books, I think they gussied them up and put them, you know, on the marketplace. But the Unhoneymooners, that's a totally original story. That was never a fan fiction story. But I will tell you, from the fan fiction that I've read, like, they were two of my, you know, favorite authors. They wrote some really good stories. They were steamy. They were funny. There was always this electric chemistry between their characters, and there's no exception in the Unhoneymooners. They have obviously sharpened their skills and elevated their writing so much. You know, it's really cool to see them go on to have such, you know, success writing for the masses instead of just the small, you know, fan fiction community. And they deserve all the success and accolades that they're getting. So the premise of The Unhoneymooners, you have a wedding, which, you know, alludes to honeymoon. So we start there. There's a wedding. The bride's name is Amy and the groom's name is Dane. Okay. And Amy is, she's one of these people that enters all kind of giveaways and contests, and she always wins. She practically got her entire wedding, including the honeymoon, for free. Okay. So, one of the other things that she got for free, it's this buffet, this big seafood buffet that's going to feed all of her guests at the wedding. Well, guess what? Everybody at the wedding that ate from that buffet got just violently ill, like projectile vomiting and coming out the other end, clutching the toilet ill, except for two people. Amy's twin sister, Olive, because I think she was vegetarian or vegan or something, and she didn't eat any of that food, and the best man, who is the groom's brother, Ethan, because he just is not about to eat any buffets. That he just thinks it's disgusting to, like, you know, commingle with other people and have people breathing on your food. So they are the only two that didn't get sick. Now, because Amy won this honeymoon, this fabulous all-inclusive honeymoon in Hawaii of all places, there's no money to be refunded because she didn't pay anything, and they can't reschedule it. It's like you either come now or you forfeit this whole deal. So it is decided that her sister Olive and the groom's brother Ethan are going to go on this honeymoon. There's just one problem. As you guessed it, they hate each other, right? So initially, you know, Olive was like, no, it's my sister. She won it. I should go. You don't even need to go. And he's like, but it's my brother and I can go because, you know, he gave his little reasons. So like I said, in the end, they both go because they feel like it's a suite. It should be a big enough space. We're never going to see each other. You know, I'm going to go do my thing. You're going to go do your thing. But the caveat is they have to pretend they're married at check-in, you know, because it's like all these rules and the contests, and conveniently enough, Olive is Amy's twin, so she has her ID when she checks into the hotel, and I don't know if they didn't have the groom's name or what, but Ethan didn't have a problem because he just gave his ID or whatever. So they get settled, big, nice suite, beautiful views and everything. And I think they're in Maui. And there's one bed, but, you know, Ethan's like, he's not even going to sweat it. You can have the room. I don't even care. He's going to sleep on the big couch. I think it's a pull-out sofa. So they have their plan. They're never going to see each other. They're just going to enjoy this time. But let me backtrack here. So, you know how Amy is like the one winning all the contests and all the prizes, the sick bride that didn't get to go, and her sister Olive, her twin, she's the exact opposite. She always has had bad luck her whole life. Well, it seems like, you know, maybe she's turning a corner because she got fired from her job, and on the way to, you know, Hawaii, she was offered a job. Like she had went for an interview and they called her and said, hey, we want to hire you, whatever, you know. So the next day, in Hawaii, Olive goes down to the spa. She's getting all pampered. You know, she's just relaxing. And it's like when you go out to kind of like, you know, just kind of decompress after your massage, it's like a joint or a co-ed waiting situation. And she's sitting there and guess who shows up? Her new boss. So her new boss comes and, you know, at first she's like kind of like freaked out, like, what is this man doing here or whatever? And he says he's there with his wife. They're celebrating their anniversary or whatever. So she, you know, just chalked it up to coincidence or whatever, was thinking, because he was saying that they were leaving or whatever the next day. She didn't even think anything of it until one of the little massage ladies or one of the reception people came and they called out for her, but they used her married name. So the boss is still standing there. He's like kind of confused. And he's like, no, her name is. And so the lady's like, what? I thought you were here on your honeymoon. You got married. So her boss is like, oh, you got married? So she has to go with it. Yeah, it was quick. It was sudden. It was soon. I'm married now. So now she and Ethan are going to have to interact because this man is like, you should come down, your new husband, have dinner with us before we go, yada, yada, yada. So that's when they have their first interaction where they kind of have to pretend, you know, in tropes like this, that typically happens. And, you know, as expected, the chemistry is just off the chain. Like Ethan is doing the most because Olive is a horrible liar. And he's just like, oh my God, shut up and just let me talk and just lean into me and let me handle this. And so she does that. But it kind of like in most situations like that, the lines get a little blurred. Then they continue because Ethan runs into his ex. I mean, everybody's at this damn resort. It's like, this is crazy that y'all are running into all these people, you know. And, you know, she broke his heart. And so he has to pretend like he's okay. Yeah, because I'm here with my new wife. And, you know, now they really have to go along. Before, nobody knew but the front desk that they were married. But now they've told all these people, so they really have to play the part. And what ends up happening is that they really start to let their defenses down and get to know each other. And of course, like in most of these types of stories, it was always a misunderstanding. And that person, you know, they really did like each other this whole time type situation. But the snarkiness between them as enemies or whatever, it was so hilarious. I have not laughed out loud reading a book in a long time. The thing that like kept killing me was, like, I mean, they obviously know each other's names, but they kept like calling each other like the wrong names, but it was always a name. And to me, this is very clever because for Olive, he was always calling her names that begin with an O, though. You know, like Olivia, Oren, you know, Orville. Like he was calling, and she would do the same. Ethan, Edward, Evan. You know, like it, like not even like calling out their name, but just in conversation. Okay, Evan, whatever. And knowing damn well his name is Ethan. So that kind of became like their thing. But it was just some of the stuff that they said to each other and the way that dialogue worked. And even after, I mean, you know, spoiler alert, like they became a couple, they kind of still kept some of that banter. It didn't go from being, you know, like, ew, you repulsed me to, oh my God, my undying love. It was more like, oh, I really like you, but you still repulse me sometimes. You know, it was just a funny dynamic, the way they chose to have this couple interact. So the only thing, my only complaint is, you know, like I said, I have read either all or at least half of the fan fiction stories written by these ladies. And when I tell you, you know, in the fan fiction world, if you're not familiar, they call like any type of romantic scene or whatever, or steamy scene, they call it lemons, right? So anyway, the lemons, these women, they could write some steamy, sexy scenes. And in the Unhoneymooners, they went there and then they stopped. It was a whole fade to black situation. And I know that, you know, this is like mass marketing, mass published, big publishing house, you know, appealing to different audiences. But it would have been interesting to see how they would have written a scene between Olive and Ethan, because their chemistry was just so palpable. So yeah, so that was my only, you know, kind of downer, like, what? Y'all gonna do that and like go to the next chapter and not, you know, tell us what actually happened or whatever? So anyway, so yeah, and the other thing that happened is Ethan admitted that he always liked her, because that was the whole thing. She started treating him crazy because, you know, when they first met, she was like, you were acting all stank with me. Like, what was that all about? And he said that it was because he was mad because his brother had told him to stay away from her. And so through conversation, Olive had surmised that Dane didn't want her and Ethan getting close because Dane was being shady, and, you know, that's her sister that he was dating during that time. So there, I'm not going to tell y'all what happened and what transpired, but that's where the, what do you call it? The tension, the drama, the angst, that relationship between Dane and Amy is what kind of caused problems for everybody in the book, you know, after they got back from this magical bubble they were in Hawaii and had to kind of, you know, face real life. But yeah, another part that I thought was really cool, like Olive and Amy, they were Hispanic, and they had a big, loud, crazy, loving family. I mean, I was both mortified and just kind of cheesing at how close they were. I'm talking keys to your house, come in and start cooking while you at work type family. You get off from work or you come home from a date, your uncle or your aunt or your cousin may just be in there chilling in your house. And it's like kind of okay with them because that's just how they were raised and how they were brought up. So, but they had her back, and, you know, when some things went down and some other stuff happened, it was good that she had her family to lean on, because there are some, you know, kind of ups and downs, like I said, that happen after they get back from Hawaii. But overall, very good story. Happily ever after, because what else do you expect from a story, you know, in this particular category? I don't know if this is considered contemporary fiction, because it wasn't romance in the traditional like sense, like all flowers and hearts and all that kind of stuff. It was a different take on a relationship type story, if you will. But I really, really enjoyed this one, and it was good to take a break from the suspense books that I can't seem to stay away from. If you love books that have a realistic romance element, books that have like the enemies to lovers, family relationships being explored, just sarcasm, quick-witted, you know, great chemistry between the characters, and not just the main characters, you know, it's just all throughout everybody, you know, the relationships seemed like believable. So if you like books like that, then you will definitely enjoy The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. If you have read The Unhoneymooners, I'd love to know your thoughts on the book. Or if you have read any other books by Christina Lauren that you'd like to recommend, drop the titles in the comments below. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. To those of you who take the time out to comment and like the videos, I sincerely appreciate it. And for those of you still not subscribed, what are you doing? hit that subscribe button. Hit it now, and make sure you like this video and turn on the post notifications. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.